In the beginning of the book, he talks about obviously being in the Lowveld. This is Bulpen now, camping there, and your dad walking in on the campfire, them introducing themselves, and that's basically how the relationship started.
Well, it took him there, but I think it is not, they were there together, but it is just as an introduction that he came to visit old places. Me and my father were there before Bulpen.
Okay, right.
To visit this old place, Makulek store and that.
Yes.
And we went with an old Hanemak truck up to there, and it could only run like 40 miles an hour.
Sure.
We went there, and then afterwards, so we went there when he sort of to recollect old memories, you know.
Right, yeah. Did he go back fairly often to the Lowveld?
My father,
yeah.
He went there with me and with Bulpen, and never again.
Never again, really?
Never again.
Sure, that's amazing, yeah. Isak, just going back in time a little bit, your dad's motivation for going down there in the first place, I gather he served some time in the police, with the police, is that correct?
Yes.
And
but when he was 17 years old or so. Yeah.
And I believe, you know, he felt constrained and tired being there, and he just wanted to get back into the bush, having come from the Knysna originally with the stories of elephant hunting and things. One of the things that comes out very strongly in Bulpen's book and introduction about your dad is his sort of determination as a person, his sense of humor, and a very likable kind of nature, I'm led to believe.
Yeah, you see, if you take it a little bit further, after the Boer War, everything was destructed completely. Yes. This was not his farm. They had a farm between here and Schweizereneke, Kalplaas.
Yes.
But because my old grandfather, they came from the Cape just before the Boer War, and then he joined the Boers, so they were taken as rebels, so they lost their property. My old grandmother died here in Setlagole, in a concentration camp, and the children and so on, and they had to live, try to live. So he went there, but he wanted to walk up to Malindi in Kenya, where he landed up later on, to go to Sangiro, a Pinar. He was a cousin, as I understood, of my father. And my father wanted to join them in Tanganyika.
Okay.
You see here near the Ngorongoro crater, there, at Arusha.
Right.
He wanted to join them there. Then he was attacked by this Shangaan Portuguese groups on the Saaf River, not here at the Lavubu, but on the Saaf. And then he said, well, I think, now I'm going to stay here and shoot your elephants till I make up all the money I've lost. That's what they say. Don't know how much truth is in there. But later on, he went up to Malindi, which is in Tanzania, just below Bagamoyo.
Okay,
And then he fell out with the Portuguese. You know, they had these coasters from port to port to port, and they said 2-3 days, and then they load, and then they go and sit a month, and they got the hell in, and they said, oh, okay, bye-bye. And he walked from there back to Crook's Corner.
So when did he actually go to Malindi then?
It must have been there in the 1920s. So.
Really? Yeah.
No, not 1920, 1912 there.
Really?
Yeah. Because he was on his way to join his family there on the new farms.
Right.
You see, in Kenya, Eldoret and all that place in Kenya, Tanzania, the settlers there. And then quite a while later, I suppose, he wanted to go there, so he walked up to Malindi, but he went with the coasters, but he walked back.
Walked back.
Yeah.
And that's a huge distance.
That's a huge distance. Very, very hard walking. I'm telling you, I've been there, my goodness.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Well, you mentioned his fight on the Savi River with the Shangans, Falage as police boy from Masingen, and I mean, the fact that he was able, with nothing, to walk 150 miles back to Makaleki in the condition that he was in shows his incredible determination.
To Louis Trichardt, actually, I think, or Soekmekaar.
Did he actually walk to Soekmekaar?
That, somewhere there.
Really?
Because where would he get clothes?
Yeah.
And I don't know if William Pies or the shop already worked in those early days.
Really?
They put up the shop there.
Yes,
It was quite a nice place. Borchards, whether they had the store there, but he landed up at Soekmekaar.
Amazing. Incredible. I mean, it's just the courage that he exhibited there was absolutely amazing.
Well, you die or you go.
Yeah.
You know? But you haven't got much choices.
Yeah. You mentioned William Pye and some of the other characters that were at Makaleki, Alec Thompson, I believe, and there was Buck Buchanan.
Buck Buchanan. I met Buck Buchanan as well.
Really? Did you?
Yeah. Then he was here at Louis Moore gold mine.
Is that so?
Yeah. He was living there.
Yeah. Amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
Many of the exploits that are written about your dad in Bulpin's book, all right, he makes a big thing of that fight on the Savi and your dad eventually seeking his revenge throughout that whole Portuguese East African area between Makaleki and Great Save River.
Yeah, the Save River.
Again, makes fascinating reading, and he seemed ultimately to dominate that whole area, really, as far as the Shangans were concerned.
Well, he dominated completely, and they say that he got away with murder even today. You know, if you talk about Bvekenya, everyone knows, and you won't believe me, but I'll give you my friend Hans Vaarmeijer, who is a botanist in Warmbad.
Yes.
He's one of the top guys in South Africa. We were in Shai, talking to the governor, and with us were Gideon Ndaba, who was the Minister of Education in the times of the first president.
Yes.
And as I walked away, I said, we'll finish, and I walked, and you hear the children quack, 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 shouting and running. And then they say, Isaac, stop, stop, stop. I said, do you hear what they say? I said, no. And this Gideon Ndaba say, these children say, there is Bvekenya walking.
My word.
So the way I walked was the way my father walked, and the children that has never seen him, but 5 generations later, the description was so perfect that they recognized me.
That is quite amazing.
Yeah. And I can give you Hans's phone, you can phone him.
That's incredible. And that's at Shai.
Yeah, that was at Shai.
Word,
Now, okay, he has never been near Shai, right? Yeah. He's been here on the Limpopo and the Saaf and the Lundi.
Yeah.
Okay, and there at Shai, they recognized me as Bvekenya.
Well, that just confirms the influence that your father had in that area. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and even today, you go there and the Portuguese side on the south, they say that that land belongs to Bvekenya. They won't give it out for hunting.
Really?
It's Bvekenya's land, and they're waiting for him. And this same Hans was there, tried to get that concession. And they said, no, it's Bvekenya's.
That's incredible. That really is amazing.
So I can, when we're finished, I can give you his phone number. Then you talk to him and let him tell you. Ask him about this concession that at the South, and about me walking there at Chai Shai and the children running after me and say, it's Bvekenya.
Because that was another question I wanted to ask you. Have you been sort of into that area below the Savi where your dad operated and hunted? Have you ever had that opportunity?
No, I've been to Bershanor Bridge on the Zimbabwe side.
Yes.
When we went to Shimanimani.
Yes.
And that to go and look at that contours on the mountains where the old Indonesians planted rice.
Okay.
And we went there, but I've never been in the Mozambique side, although we've been up to Beira and we've been up to Tete and all that. But I've never been in that corner.
Yeah. Because that would be fascinating to go into that area and again talk to the Shangaan people.
Yeah.
What led me to ask the question, another thing that Bulpen concentrated on in the book was your dad's camp on the Shefu River, where he had like a permanent camp where after hunting they'd go and make their whips and things, you know.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if that could still be identified as far as the Shangaans are concerned.
Oh, the Shangaans will know exactly. If you're in the Shefu area, you say the Shangaans, where is Bvekenya's camp?
Would they be able to show one?
Oh, yes. Remember, Shangaans my age still knew Bvekenya.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. That'd be a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Patricia Glynn. You know who's Patricia? She walked from Durban to Victoria Falls on the footsteps of her grandfather.
Yes, that's right.
She wanted to let me go with her there and to get the story together and walk from there on to Sufala, but there are too many landmines. I said, no, it's too dangerous.
Yeah, it would be
because you walk through the veld. But then there is another character which it's not written about. It is Fred Roux. He was one of the group that was with Bvekenya, and they tamed eland. Right. And they were milking the eland, but from Crook's Corner in the Mozambique side.
Right.
And there he was arrested by the Portuguese and taken away to Inhambane. And Bvekenya and his friends tried to get him away, but they were not successful. And I was never heard of Fred Roux again.
Disappeared, really?
Where he died or whatever happened. And we all think that maybe he just died there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shame, yeah. There was another character called Charlie Deagle, I believe. He also disappeared ultimately. He was captured eventually by the Portuguese.
Yeah.
And I think your dad tried to save him as well.
Yeah.
But now, if I am correct, your dad's brother-in-law, Billy Green,
this was his farm.
It was his farm, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then his wife died.
His wife died in Boksburg.
Oh, did she die in Boksburg?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And that's when my father bought the farm from him. And this old square dam behind the workshop, and this conical milli tank were built by them here in the 1920s.
Is that so?
Yeah.
So that's still that is still standing.
And it looks, because this Billy Green's father, as if they were the grandchildren of Frederick Joseph Green, who discovered the Kunene River.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when their father, their children, you know, he had a white wife, and then he married a Herero woman there in Namibia. Yeah. And then his children came out and they died at Maatjiesfontein.
Oh, really?
And they were buried there. And one died from blood poisoning, the other one died from malaria. So the housemaid took the children back to England, and then when they were big, they brought them back, and this is now this Fred Green, Billy Green that married my father's sister.
Okay, all right. Now I wanted to confirm that with you, that it was Billy Green's farm originally here, and that
yes,
your dad then bought it.
definitely.
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
Yes. Because also apparently when that Charlie Deagle was Billy Green went down to the Lowveld, and he was with your dad for a bit, and he got sick. Was it Blackwater fever or something?
Yeah.
And that's when Deagle got hurt, and your dad was trying to nurse the two of them, but they were like 15 miles apart or something.
Yeah, well, yeah. Billy Green also died from Blackwater fever.
Did he really?
From malaria. Yeah.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Now you know his daughter. She died 2 years ago at the age of 97.
Really? Hey?
And I spoke to her and I visited her. I've taken her even to the memorial when we unveiled it.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Nora Green.
Nora Green, really?
Yeah, she was Pullen. She married a Pullen.
Pullen, really?
And her son, Wally, he also went along.
Really? Hey?
Yeah, and she told us that.
Yeah. Well, Isak, as far as the elephants that your dad ultimately shot, the figure that's given in Bullpen's book, is that a sort of accurate figure, over 300 elephant?
Yeah,
as far as you know?
I don't know. I could believe so. It means for the time he was there, it means one a month.
Yeah.
But what I understood very well, I think he was maybe the first conservationist hunter, where he was culling the elephants, because he and the Shangans walk on the elephant's tracks and then they look at the dung.
Right.
And the coarse dung means the elephant hasn't got teeth, although they get 6 sets of teeth, 3, 9, 15, so. And here on 38 they get the last set of teeth. Then they grow out of teeth and they die from hunger.
Right. Yes.
Here at the age of 50, 52, elephant doesn't get 100 years.
Right.
Now they walk and they look at this dung.
Yeah.
So this is an old bull or an old cow. Let's follow her and shoot her.
Oh, that
is how he told me. That is what they. And then he never shot an elephant and let it die. And they first called the Shangans in the area because the people died from hunger a lot there. And then they said, I'm going to hunt this elephant. And they were ready, and if they shoot an elephant, they come and they take out the tusk, but the people take all the meat.
Yes. So
and
they
there
benefit.
is nothing left, and they eat that.
Yeah.
So he never shot an elephant and just leave it to die, to rot there. No. Given everyone was hunted, you can say, for the people. That's how I understood it. I may be wrong, but that is how I understood it.
Yeah. There was something that I pulled off the internet where they mentioned the fact that he became a conservationist, or in a sense at heart he was a conservationist. And when he went up into Rhodesia, and Bullpen makes mention of this, following sort of rains, and where the veld had greened up and there were vast herds of animal around. And he wrote to Forrestal, who was the district commissioner at Chibi.
That's right.
And he then mentioned perhaps the need for a game reserve, and linking a Rhodesian game reserve with the South African game reserve.
Yeah, almost 100 years earlier than what it is done.
Yeah. So that was very interesting for me, because again, people like to concentrate on the so-called poaching side of your dad's life. But I think for me what was very, very significant is that, and also, and again it's beautifully written, and again how accurate it is I don't know, but your dad's following of Lulamiti, elephants.
That is how we've got it now. I don't think, we didn't talk too much because there was such an age difference.
Yes.
But when he talked, we usually listen, and he said, you do this and you do that and that and that. So, because I said, Pa, I suppose you've shot hundreds of lions. He said, no, I shot 5 lions in my life.
Really?
So, why must I kill them for what?
Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
And that makes you think that all the big hunters here say, oh, my dad has shot 20 lions here in the Botswana. And I thought, no, I shot 5 lions in my whole life.
Yeah.
Because why do you kill them? For what?
Yeah, if there's no need. Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes you think that he was a conservationist as well.
Yes.
Although, that's why I say he never hunted young elephants. He looked at the dung to see whether they're old.
Yeah.
That's the ones that they bring down.
Well, that's very interesting to hear, and I'm very glad you've mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's something I'd really like to highlight. You know, in the article on your dad.
Yeah, no, but that is really, I mean, we talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When he eventually decided to move here permanently from the Lowveld,
Yeah.
I was given to understand that he brought a lot of hardwood up from there for furniture.
Yes.
Does that furniture still?
There.
Really?
Yeah.
And he made that?
They made it here on the farm under some of the chairs. There is the date, 1928 and 1932, and Piet van Zyl and another man here and my father. Their names are under some of these chairs.
Isn't that?
And that is mahogany.
Yeah, mahogany.
Trachelia emetica.
Yes, yes. And Umisak, he brought it all up on wagon?
On a donkey wagon. We had no oxen there because they died from red water, hard water, and sets of flies and things.
Yeah.
Only donkeys.
How long did it take him to trek from?
3 months, from there to here. Took 3
months.
Yeah.
Incredible. Amazing.
Yeah.
And you wonder how many trips he made backwards and forwards.
No, but only, he went there for 7 years, and then he came back, and then he went back for like 13 years.
Oh, really?
And that he never, as I understood, he never came back every time because remember the police was looking for him. They all wanted him in jail.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll be such a fool to travel past Johannesburg and Pretoria with all the police chasing you.
Yeah, yeah. And when he started working for the mines for labour recruiting, again it's my understanding that he went to the police commissioner in Joburg and told him what he wanted to do, and they cleared his name because they hadn't anything that they could really
show. Well, except in Rhodesia, he was fined £5 for poaching a hippo.
Yeah.
That's what a forestal or whatever. We've still got the paper somewhere here.
Really?
Yeah. Also a photo of this huge elephant.
Really?
Yeah.
Just clarify something for me. Was blackbirding, as it was called, was it considered illegal unless you were employed by the mines to do it?
Yeah, I don't know how it worked, but my father was very much against, in the beginning, against the way the mines worked. Because they put them on Thornycroft trucks from Pafuri.
Yeah.
And then they drove them here from the Lowveld, naked people, in the cold in Johannesburg. In the mines after a few months, and they all died from pneumonia and things like that. My father said, no, you must walk them, that they get acclimatized. Slowly, and he had his wagon, and with a millies on it and a little hand mill.
Really?
We only even had it when we were young on this farm.
Yes.
Same one. And they grind the millies, and so he walked them. And of course he could speak the Shangaan language very well, and that type of thing. But I think he took them up to Soekmekaar.
Really?
Not to Johannesburg.
Not to Johannesburg, really.
Yeah.
Because his period with the mines lasted a certain period of time, and I understand he eventually got fed up and went back to hunting again.
Yeah, not long, and I don't know why or what reason, but I suppose he made a little bit more money with the hunting and the hippo whips and the giraffe whips, the long neck down, you know, and
Yes.
For the driving 16 oxen and that type of thing. That is why I don't know, but you know, if a man was like him, he was the law himself. So you don't go under a smaller law than you.
Yes,
you
of
know,
course,
and then obey them. And so I don't think he could make it possible to work for them.
He was
Although he was in Pafuri. The buildings are still standing there.
Are they?
Yes, no, they're still living people living in there. I used to go and sleep there, even now.
Really?
Beautiful buildings. And then there are the, what is the man who was there after my father? He died a few years ago from cancer, he and his wife, and the books that they kept. Every day written in all the names. Harold Mockford from Petersburg. They just had the house out of Petersburg, which Sandy Collins bought, a girl that worked for us. She bought that place, but that was their farm, but it was at Pafuri. Now it's still running today. And well, the inspection pits of the old Thornycroft trucks and all that's still there.
Still there, really?
And on the Mozambique side, if you go through, the Mozambique side, there is most beautiful manager houses, like 3 on the cliff overlooking the river, and then in the back the dormitories and like 16-seater toilets and showers and all that. And when the Frelimo came, they shot all that things. You can't believe it, how they shot it down, but it is still there, the frames. And it's 1 or 2 houses, not too much damage, but you can't believe, you feel like crying if you see.
Such wanton destruction.
That,
Isak, your dad's camp at sort of Makaleki, was it where the Pongola and the Lavuva rivers meet? Was it there?
No, the Limpopo and the Lavubu. Now, if you are come from the Crooks Corner, from Punamaria.
Yes.
You drove up against the river.
Yes.
Where the bridge go over.
Yes.
Now, if you go down the river to where the river, that is now in the Kruger side.
You're right.
Into the sea, that is into the Limpopo. That is the river, and that is Crook's Corner.
Yes.
And now if you stand there like this, the junction,
yes.
you look into Crook's Corner where they camped under this huge wild fig trees.
All right.
But Crook's Corner, if the river comes in flood, that is 20 feet underwater, 10, 20 feet.
All right.
So you go over the river and you go like 3-4 miles, and then you turn right. That corner is called Crook's Corner. And not only that little bit.
Right, right.
That's where the memorial is still in Crook's Corner. Okay. But we put it there. Old Pinar asked us to put it there. He said because it will wash away. Right. And with this big flood, the water was just next to it.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
And where was the original beacon that they
on the island.
Was it on the island
itself? There is this river, and it makes a deviation round an island.
Yes.
And that's where the beacon was, is on the island and not on the mainland.
On the mainland, really?
Because the border is always the middle of the river, from the middle of this river to that.
Yes.
And that's where the beacon were.
Oh, I see.
On that side.
Does that beacon still exist there?
Some years ago it still existed, like 15 years ago. But then the top post was rusted off, but the cement block and so much of the pipe still stood there.
Oh, really?
My old friend who passed away, Casper, he's been there.
Really? Has he actually seen it?
Yeah, he lives in Maguba's Kloof.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Your dad eventually married, your mother was Maria Badenhorst, is that?
Yeah.
Was her family farming in this area, Isak?
They farmed, near Wolmerastad, Makwasi.
Oh, Makwasi, right.
Makwasi.
Okay.
And how they came here is that a war broke out between Monsiwa, he's the captain or the king here at Kunana, not far from us, and Monsiwa, Mushete here and Monsiwa in Bvekenya. And they, here of Mushete, sent his people to run to call the Boers to help them against that one. And then he would give a farm to the farmers to come and help them. And all these farms were given by old Mushete to the Boers who came to help them. That's why when they had all this land claims, they put it back because the blacks still remember the history of it.
Oh, really?
Because this farm is now over 100 years in our family.
Family years, yes.
But the original owner of this was a Harris, but he died. An old Englishman, he died there, and then it came to the Greens, and then to my father, and then I bought it in my father's will.
All right, okay. And I just wanted to also ask you, you had 3 brothers and a sister, is that correct?
Yeah.
And are they still alive or not?
One brother is still alive, the one that is older than me.
Yes.
The oldest one died from malaria, and he is buried here on the farm. He picked it up in the Aswan Dam, and then when the French the Egyptians kicked them out there away, building this Aswan, then he and the governor of New Zealand, Sir Herbert Penny's son, walked from Dar es Salaam straight over the Rift Valley, following the Congo to the west coast of Africa in 2 years. And then he got malaria and he died in Pretoria, but he picked it up in Sanin.
Really?
And then my youngest brother also passed away a few years ago when I was in Angola. I didn't know. When I came back, I heard that he's buried already for 3 weeks or what.
Oh, really?
You know, and then my sister, the youngest one, she also passed away. So it's me and the one that is older than I am.
That's left now.
Yeah.
Really? Goodness me. Huh? Sure.
Remember, but it was given by Sonny Roll to me.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, I think it is Sonny.
Sonny Roll.
Sonny Raw, yes.
And who was his father? His stepfather?
Let me read it. The ivory was given to Sonny Raw of the farm Doringboom in the Soutspannberg district by Bvekenya and about, and I can't read that date. It was a token of Bvekenya's appreciation of the frequent hospitality received at Doringboom en route to his hunting grounds at Pafuri. Later, the ivory was given by Sonny to his stepson, Ernest Watson, who subsequently gave it to Bvekenya's son, Isaac Barnard.
There was the owner of the shop at near Soekmekaar. He had a little mill, and he milled grain for the people.
Yes, yes.
And then that was given to them because my father, they come from Luistrigard, he stayed over there on his way up.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely thing to have.
Yeah, yeah.
Just finally, just your dad's physical appearance. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Was he how tall was he? Was he a tall man or?
No, he was my length. He was 5'10.5".
Really?
5'11".
Yeah.
Like me, I was 5'11".
Yes.
And it's me, strong.
Strong, yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah. There's a very nice photograph of him in the Ivory Trail in Bulkin's book.
Yeah. And when he was 50, say 50, he still had a body like I have, a little bit of a boupins, you know. But that's it. It's not fat and all that. It's still like that.
A very physical kind of person, I would imagine.
Yes.
Is his grave nearby? Is it possible for us to have a look at it? I'd really like to.
I'll send someone because I can't walk just here.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd really like to.
Yeah, no, you can really go and look, and I've put the map that is in the Ivory Trail. It's on his.
Oh, really? Is it? Oh,
yeah.
That would be wonderful.
Thing, yeah. No, but you know, I am to say now. My grandfather, he took the Prince of Wales out to hunt elephants.
Really?
My other brother still has got the table. That Prince of Wales, it folds up like this. It hinges and this little blue. And then my father, then me, now it is my son. And we're all in this game. But I've never killed anything.
Really?
Never.
So you're not really a hunter yourself?
No. No, I like to see things alive.
Yes, yes. Yeah.